this is Collector on the Corner, and this is Randall. Come on, Randy, what you got to say?
We're going to do a firewood cutting video today.
Ah, yuck.
This tree is about 30, a little over 30 inches. Kind of punky in the middle.
It's a big
Red
one.
oak.
It's a big one.
I done come up here and cut a little bit of it. They're building a house down there, and I guess the power company took this tree out and set it over here. I don't know how it got here.
I don't know how it got here either.
Anyway.
Maybe it ran here.
I worked about 4 hours.
He worked 4
and I got
hours.
this 925. I bought 3 old saws off a guy. There's a video on it.
Uh-huh.
And I bought this I got this 925 going.
It's a homelite.
And I put that big old bar on the end of it.
Jeepers, creepers.
It don't have a grease fit deal there, so I put that white grease on that sprocket tip.
Uh-huh.
Try to make it last.
Uh-huh.
But instead, a lot of people don't want to watch somebody cut firewood.
I don't.
So I'm going to tell a story.
Okay, tell a story.
If you look right over there, it's that sign.
Yes.
See that sign right there?
I might have to get closer. If I had a zoomer, I could zoom. But I don't, this probably zooms, but I don't know how to zoom.
You see it now?
We'll be able to see it. Just a minute. It's some old codger that, see, there it is.
That sign says Watts Trail.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, my daddy, Norman Watts, he bought a farm down at the end of this road.
Uh-huh.
In 1957, paid $2,000 for 120 acres. And we moved down here in the fall, August, I guess, of '62. And a mile down there, we walked up here, and they was about where we're standing, there was an old wooden bus shed. And me and my older sister, older brother, and one of my younger sisters, we was all gonna go to school, and we'd come here to catch the bus. And back in them days, there wasn't very many fat people. Everybody was lean. We'd come up here, and there was this fat boy up here. And he was really extrovert. He was real extrovert, had the gift of gab, nice personality, and he was showing out for my older sister and all that. And directly a pickup truck come down that road right there. Had a plywood camper on the back, and he went over there and jumped in the bed of that truck and went that way.
Went that way.
I thought he was waiting on the bus.
Oh.
He's the same age as my older brother.
Oh.
He was about 15, I guess. And what it was, his daddy had died. And he was going to the cotton fields to pick cotton.
To help his mama?
To make a living, because his mama didn't have no money coming in. Because his daddy never paid in Social Security or something, didn't believe in it or something.
Did they have it back then?
Well, I don't think his daddy ever paid anything in.
Oh.
You know,
Well, I didn't know.
He made his living on that farm, made peanut brittle and sorghum molasses. And,
well, I was just wondering if they had
it was
Social
rumored
Security.
that he made whiskey out of that sorghum molasses and sold that too for his living and stuff.
Well, at
but
least
anyway,
he was happy.
Then that went on. Every morning he'd be up here, he'd get in that truck, and then all of a sudden didn't see him no more. Well, his mother had taught school when she was young, and she got a job teaching school at the Seventh-day Adventist church school down at Monticello, Arkansas. And he went down to Monticello, Arkansas, and he's gone for several years. Then he come back, and he went to work at a factory, and they asked him if he had any experience, and he said, yeah, I worked on a broom handle factory at Monticello, Arkansas. And they said, good, we'll make you a machinist. And he worked at a place called Selb, and they had him run the mill. And I always liked to tease him and said he's the one that made them defective parts. But that bunch made a bunch of defective parts for them swing wing jets they put on the aircraft carriers. And a bunch of the wings fell off, and they traced them to defective parts of this factory down there College City, Arkansas, and I always used to like to tease him about that he's the one machining them parts too thin, they welded them back up. Had him remachine them, but I don't know whether he did or not.
No, not
Somebody said that he would take a C-clamp and tighten it down and measure it with a ruler. I don't know. I don't think so. He knew how to use mics and stuff.
Yeah, that's
I needed some debt mics to set the injectors on the Caterpillar tractor, and he loaned me his, and he come over there to watch me to be sure I knew how to use them. And after I got done with them, I went to give them back to him. He said, "No, you keep them." He said, "If I know where, I'll know where they're at if I need them."
Aww.
And I still got his debt mics. He just told me to go hang on to them.
Aww.
But anyway,
Okay.
he's
Back.
a big old boy.
Yes.
And
Like that big old tree.
well, I'm gonna go on short.
Oh.
He was gonna get married.
Uh-huh.
And the church people, he got to be a Seventh-day Adventist, and the church people was telling about this girl in Tennessee, and they was gonna bring her up here to see him and everything. So he run around and jogged and was on a diet, and he lost down to about 350 pounds. And there was no need of it. When he met her, she was a big girl too. She was, one of them corn-fed. Anyway, so he had this old Maverick car, and the flex plate was broke on it, and he brought it over there. Had 206 in it, and the body wasn't no good, and the turn signals and stuff wouldn't work, and squirrels or something been up under there and chewed the wires and stuff. And I had this lot better looking Maverick body that had a V8 in it. The motor wasn't no good, and we used to put transmission and something out. So I put his engine, transmission, and new flex plate in that car, and we got it going for him and everything. And before I let him have it, I got Debbie in there to mash the gas all the way to the floor, and I adjusted that throttle where it only opened 3/4 of the way. Couldn't get full throttle. And he married that girl, and I was the best man at his wedding. They took that car on a honeymoon. And he come back, and he said that car did real good except for one thing. I said, "What's that?" He said, "I get on the interstate, I hold it flat on the floor, and 70 mile an hour is as fast it'll go. It won't go a hair over 70, no matter how long you go hold it on the floor." I said, "Well, 55 speed limit. It seemed like 70 is fast enough." And then he come back over and he said, "I want you to take them V8 springs out of the front, the nose sits up on it." And I said to him, "Jim, you're a pretty good sized old boy. And Janine's a big girl." I said, "If anything, you got plenty of springs. You don't want weaker springs in front." I said, "You probably need some more leaves in the rear springs." So we jacked it up and took that other old Maverick and added 2 more leaves to rear springs and leveled that body up. And he'd hit bumps in this road, and the doors would pop open. So he took it down there to a muffler shop down there, and these guys worked on stock cars and stuff, and they put it up on the lift, and they tied the subframes together and reinforced underneath that car. And it lasted him real good. And then one day he come over and he said, "I found out what's wrong with that car." He said, "I was up there at the gas station, and that boy worked at the fast station, changing oil and stuff. He found out that it was only getting 3/4 of the throttle. He'd get full throttle now, boy, this thing running. It lasted about a month.
Yep, he blew it up.
Then they got an old Plymouth, Chrysler Newport, what it was, 360 in it. And they'd come down this highway right here.
Yeah, this highway.
And however fast they was going down that road,
That's how fast
when
they
they got
turned
right
in.
here, what happened, Debbie?
They turned in that fast, and they would be on 2 wheels.
Yeah, if both of them wasn't in there, whichever one was riding, the front end of that car was like this.
I
to
know.
The driver's side.
It was
And
scary.
they turn in as fast as they was going.
It
And
was-
the 2 wheels on the passenger side, it'd be 1.5 feet off of the ground.
It was scary.
And they'd come down through there and they hit the bumps.
Yeah.
And they lived straight. Well, that road goes straight. And we lived around the curve. And when we come down there, we always watched to be sure if they was coming in right. Because they'd come out of that end of that road going 60 miles an hour.
I remember we rode with him to go up to Mountain Home, and I was pregnant, and I thought I was going to have the baby on the way
Girl, every minute.
because he scared me to death.
Anyway, but when I was a kid, there was a culvert right down there on the road, come out there. And you couldn't see over this hill.
Uh-huh.
And Mama was scared to death of it, and she'd come up here in her old 59 Ford, and one of us kids would have to go up here on top of the hill and look for traffic. And then she'd pull on the road and we'd get in the car. It was dangerous.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised she didn't make you run and jump in.
Mama finally got down there and she told the county judge about it. And the county judge come out here and they the state let them put a drive up here. And they turned around and moved the road up here.
Yep.
Well, one day I was up there and that highway department guy got on to me because somebody had been turning through off the road and turning in a big mud hole right there, big mud wall. They'd be driving through right there rather than come up here. And I knowed him. And he jumped all over me about that, and I told him I ain't the one driving through that. So I seen that old boy that lived down there. I said, hey, is that you driving through the ditch up there? I said, I got chewed out real good by that from that state highway department superintendent over there about doing that. No, I don't know who's doing that. I ain't the one driving through there. I said, okay. So I went down there and I got me 2 big 8'6" slabs off of ties from sawmill slabs. And I drove concrete nails through them. And I took my grinder and I sharpened them square concrete nails. And I laid them in them ruts down there and put them down there where they'd suck down to the mud real good. And I come out, and his truck was sitting up there, 4 flat tires. I never said a word to him about it. He didn't say nothing either, but everybody's long gone, except me, so I can tell that mean story. But he quit driving through the ditch.
Yay!
Anyway, trees in the dirt. I got to jack it up a little bit before I can saw it.
Jack it up, my eyeball. Just saw it and then push it over. You're that strong. Super Daddy. Well, it's a pretty day here today. Not too bad. I hope the kids go outside and play and run off some of that energy. They've been off for Christmas break, and holy cowabunga dudes, they are some rambunctious little boys and girls. And girl.
Look, my jack.
There's a jack right there. So anyway, they go back to school Tuesday, and guess who's going to do the dance of joy? I think her name is called Grandma. Papa don't really care because he don't deal with them. He's always outside doing his thing. I think he's going to split the firewood before he cuts it. That's a pretty cool deal. I've never known of anybody splitting the firewood before they cut it. Jeepers. Okay, jack it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know this will work.
Well, why wouldn't it work? It's a Randall original. My only thing is, you're lucky it'll roll off down the hill and.
Roll 'cause it's got that root wad on it.
Oh, it's got a root wad on it.
I'll tell you what it is doing.
What is it doing?
Smashing the jack into the ground some.
Well, you probably should have put it.
It's come up a little, ain't it?
Yeah, it's come up a little. I could poke a finger under right there, but I ain't dare gonna.
Well, that's all I need to do, come up a little.
Well, you've come up probably about an inch, maybe.
I don't want
I know you don't want to run your saw into dirt and rocks. You're the Arkansas Massacre.
About as high as that jack's gonna go.
Yep. So go ahead and cut this off, and then.
Another one.
Well, shoot the dog. How many jacks did you bring with you? Okey pokey dokey. Do 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 do. Sorry, I was wobbling back and forth, dancing.
There we go.
Oh yeah, baby.
Jack in the ground.
Yeah, baby. Now when you chainsaw, you can just saw your jacks into. Okay.
That'll do for one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive a little further.
Well, if you don't watch out, I'm gonna get in the truck and drive off.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't want to jam my
I know your brand new
3-foot.
chain and bar and chainsaw. Why don't you just pick it up and put it in the bed of the truck?
Yeah. I'll let you do that.
Well, I left my magic wand at home. Or I could. Ah! You broke your board.
Yeah, I know, but it don't matter.
It don't matter.
I just want that board there rather than have dirt.
But that was a perfectly good yucky board. Okay, is this...
Okay, that's over 925.
Is it loud?
Yeah,
What about me?
because I gutted the...
No, you better... You better use
Late for me. Anyway, that's on 925. I worked on about 4 hours. Changed the fuel lines in, cleaned on that gas tank. Never could get that carburetor right, so I went and put a different kind of carburetor on there. Which these 925's got a governor and carb,
Uh-huh.
and I put a carb off something else.
But you forgot one thing. I got a fat head, so these ain't fitting on my ears. You got
to adjust them?
Yeah, you got to adjust them because I got a fat head. It's for all that brains I got.
Okay, yeah.
Or it could just be my hair.
I ain't starting today.